World Heritage: Sacred Sites and Pilgrimage Routes in the Key Mountain Range. This deep mountainous region is known as the 3,600 Peaks of Kumano. Massive rocks, giant trees, and huge waterfalls. In Kumano, it is believed that the gods inhabit nature, and nature is revered at Kumano Sanzan, where three great shrines: Kumano Hongū Taisha, Kumano Hayatama Taisha, and Kumano Nachi Taisha. Koyasan, the sacred place of Shingon esoteric Buddhism, founded by Kukai. Yoshino and Omuni mountain range, revered as the holy ground of mountain ascetic practice for 1,300 years. The three routes include the Kumano Sanke Michi, the Koyasan Cho Ishimichi, and the Omine Okugake Michi. These three sacred sites and the routes that lead to them were listed together as a World Heritage Site in 2004 under the joint name Sacred Sites and Pilgrimage Routes in the Key Mountain Range. Sacred Sites and Pilgrimage Routes in the Key Mountain Range, a vast heritage site that spans 3 prefectures in the Kii Peninsula. With the natural environment of this area forming its backdrop, the cultural landscapes created through the mutual workings of nature and human beings is highly regarded throughout the world. To make the pilgrimage to Kumano, which way is closer and which way is farther? The Key Road or the Ise Road? Both are ways of vast compassion, so neither place is that far away from us. Immortalized by these words in Rojin Hisho, a book of poetry composed by the late Heian period Emperor Go-Shirakawa, Japanese have walked Kumano Kodo Iseji for 1,000 years. During the Edo period, many people traveled this route on foot, making pilgrimages to Ise Jingu, then to the Kumano Sanzan, and afterwards touring central Japan's 33 temples, starting from the first, Seigan Toji. After paying their respects at Ise Jingu, the pilgrims headed for the sacred sites of Kumano and changed into white pilgrims' clothing at Tamaru, the crossroads of the main road to Ise and the road to Kumano. After crossing the Meki Toge, the first on the journey, the route continues along rivers and on mountain paths. Takihara no Miya, first established here some 2,000 years ago. A branch of the inner shrine of Ise, since ancient times, it has been the place from which to worship Ise's great kami, or god from afar. Time passes silently when you walk the 200-meter approach to the shrine, which is lined with giant Japanese cedar trees. The superb view from the Tsuzurato Toge, the first peak pilgrims saw while walking the mountain path leading from Ise Jingu. Here, the coast of Kumano first comes into view, strengthening the pilgrims' aspiration to reach the sacred sites of Kumano. Surveying the grand scenery from the Hajikami Toge, the Edo period essayist Suzuki Bokushi composed a verse of poetry for posterity. The moss-covered stone-paved road that extends to the Magose Toge wanders through a forest of plush cypress trees. Even in this rainy region, this cobbled road preserves its ancient appearance. Pilgrims clothed in white traverse the stone-paved road headed for the sacred sites of Kumano. Some pilgrims collapsed on this perilous mountain road and died without fulfilling their ambition to reach Kumano. On the path up Wakayama, the most dangerous spot in this region, memorials enshrining pilgrims who died on the journey stand on the roadside. The residents of Kumano erected these commemorative memorials. Some memorials were placed here by the families of the pilgrims after learning of their deaths. Although far from wealthy, the people of Kumano welcome pilgrims with hospitality. At times they provided lodgings to pilgrims for free. Other times they gave rice balls to hungry pilgrims, praying that the pilgrims would reach the sacred sites of Kumano safely. For these residents of Kumano, the Kumano Kodo Iseji was also an artery by which they made their livelihoods. On the path to the Matsumoto Toge, visitors can see the splendid cobbled road which was constructed from layer upon layer of roughly piled stones so that travelers could walk safely. The bullet-scarred statue of the Buddhist statue Jizo stands on the bamboo-covered Matsumoto Toge. The 25-kilometer Shichiri Mihama that the pilgrims gazed upon still welcomes people with a view unchanged from those days. After descending the Matsumoto Toge, the pilgrims who had walked to this point on perilous mountain roads continued to the Kumano Hayatama Taisha on the Hamakaido or coastal highway. Although the Hamakaido is not as perilous as a mountain road, Kumano's rough seas sometimes swept pilgrims away at a dangerous spot called Oyashirazu Koshirazu, literally a place so dangerous that parents and children forsook one another there. On the Hamakaido, the people of Kumano also took great care to bury and memorialize pilgrims who died during their travels. The sacred sites of Kumano have always accepted all people without any distinction. The Kumano Hayatama Taisha, which is said to purify the sins people committed in the past. The Kumano Nachi Taisha, which grants people blessings in their present lives. At the Kumano Hongū Taisha, the pilgrims who came to pray for rebirth in the Pure Land suffered many hardships walking the road to Kumano. They atoned for their sins and also walked here so that their earnest prayers would be answered. The Kumano Kodo is the path of ascetic practice and prayer. Pilgrims who took the Kumano Kodo Iseji instead of the coastal route walked the mountain roads to the sacred sites of Kumano, seeking to successfully atone for their sins and have their prayers answered. Under the watch of the kamis, or gods that inhabited Kumano's great trees and massive rocks, pilgrims aim for the sacred sites to repent for their sins, receive blessings in this life, as well as the future rebirth in the paradise of the Pure Land. Despite the passage of time, the nature of Kumano is unchanged by bygone days and still watches over the comings and goings of visitors. Sacred sites and pilgrimage routes in the key mountain range. The Kumano Kodo Iseji exists here.